Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little bit since we've had a little commitment video, a little post-commitment breakdown. But got some news here. Is Bryce Kane, the Baker receiver from in-state Alabama, has announced his commitment to Auburn. This was not really a surprise at all if you were keeping up with us on the board over at auburnundercover.com, which we're still running a sale over there. So definitely make sure to come check us out if you're just watching on YouTube and have not checked us out already. But Bryce Kane is committed. And this is going to be Auburn's slot receiver in the class. They may still look at taking another one. I know the plan was 1 to 2 somewhere in there, but Bryce Kane is the first one that Auburn's staff decides to jump on board with. He camps for Auburn's elite camp last Friday, whatever date that was. I don't know. All the days are blending together now. But he camps. He already had an offer going into camp. We felt like it was mostly a committable offer, but he blew the doors off of everybody at that camp. He ran a 4.39 in his first 40 before camp. He ran a 4.44 in the second 40. And honestly, he got kind of a bad release on both of them. He could have ran faster, to be honest. And he has run faster too. I believe it was at Ole Miss's camp. He ran a 4.35. At Alabama's camp previously, he ran a 4.39. And Ole Miss was kind of the primary competition there between the two, between Auburn and Ole Miss. And talked to him after the camp, and he came out with a big old smile on his face. Let me switch pictures here. He came out with a huge smile on his face. He always has a smile on his face. I've been telling people for a while since the first time I talked to this kid. I absolutely love this kid. His personality, he's so great. And he came out afterwards. He said, it just blew Ole Miss out of the water. I ain't gonna lie. The camp, everything, the coaches. That was his direct quote. He just this is an Auburn kid right there. This is someone that just loves Auburn. He's done with his recruitment. At least that's what he told us. He doesn't want to take any visits elsewhere. He knows Auburn is where he wants to be. And he knows Auburn is the spot for him. He feels really confident in Marcus Davis and this coaching staff to kind of take him where he wants to go. And that's developing as a football player. And he's honest about that. And I'm honest with y'all about that Auburn is getting a little bit more of a raw player at wide receiver, but one that has all the talent in the world. I talked about his speed. Obviously, as a wide receiver room, you love to add that speed. But this is a kid that grew up playing baseball. That's his sport. Honestly, he might try and play baseball at Auburn a little bit, or at least attempt to. He probably can. He's a talented baseball player, and I know he'd like to. But this is a baseball kid growing up. Jason and I went down to the Mobile area for that recruiting road trip probably a month ago, and I had known that he had mostly played baseball, but we got to talk with some of his coaches, even talked with some other coaches on other coaching staffs down there who were connected to Bryce growing up. And they said, look, this is a kid who's just been playing baseball his whole life. He's really only been playing football for about 1 or 2 years. And you turn on his junior tape and you see some electric playmaking ability there. You really, really like the potential that you're getting and adding to the wide receiver room. It was a really fun elite camp on Friday because Bryce Kane was there, Malcolm Simmons was there, and then obviously the big deal was that Walker White, Auburn's top 247 quarterback commit, was also there. And he decided to camp and he decided to throw. So you kind of got a firsthand look at maybe some future connections. And Auburn may still end up adding Malcolm Simmons as well, but Auburn does add Bryce Kane now. And those two built up a really, really good connection on and off the field. Um, I believe it was Walker White was talking about Bryce Kane's dad and how he got to talk with him a good bit on the sideline. And he was talking about how he loved Bryce and how the same thing I've been saying, how he's smiling all the time, how he has a very infectious, positive energy, which is something that is doesn't go unnoticed in that sense. So, look, this is a kid that Auburn is just the place he wants to be. The first thing he said was, "I just think it felt like home. The coaches can develop me, and I feel like they can take me to the next level. I love it here." Every time we ask him about Auburn, even before he had committed, when I first talked to him, when he first got offered, when we went down to Baker again, talked to him then, when we talked to him after the camp, at that point he had told us that he was planning to commit. Every time he ends an answer about Auburn, it's always "I love it" or "I love it here." He he always has a huge smile on his face, especially when he's talking about Auburn. So Auburn picks up his commitment, kind of gets things rolling a little bit after what's been a little bit of a slow period. You already had Amon Lane was the early commit. Then you picked up, let's see, how did it go in order? I believe Jaden Lewis was next. Jaden Lewis, Walker White came shortly after that. You had Martavius Collins. No, I think you had Jamarian Burnett. Yeah, you had Jamarian Burnett and then Martavius Collins. Now you pick up Bryce Kane to kind of get the summer commitment season rolling a little bit, which is good because it's been a little bit stagnant recently. In all honesty, it's slowed down. I think Auburn's ranked in like the 40s or somewhere in terms of overall team recruiting rankings. Things have definitely slowed down. It's been a little bit difficult for the staff to get people on board. There's been a ton of top talent coming to campus, but now Bryce Kane kind of gets things rolling. Um, and I don't think necessarily things will keep rolling immediately, like as in within the next couple of days or within the next week or so. But I do think there's a lot of guys that Auburn is on the verge of adding a commitment from. And I think by maybe middle of July, Bryce Kane could be one of maybe 6 or 7 guys that have already hopped on board. And then I think you'd be able to land several more commitments during Big Cat weekend as well, there at the end of July. So to recap, Auburn picks up Bryce Kane. Guys, we've had a ton of coverage already at auburnundercover.com. If you're just watching us on YouTube first, if you're not subscribed already, definitely subscribe. It's free. It helps us out a lot. We're on the push for, I think we're on the push for 7,000 subs now, which is awesome, actually. And so definitely make sure to come check us out over there at auburnundercover.com. And check us out on YouTube as well. And we will catch you guys soon.